How you doing, Tom?
Good, thank you, man. You clean up pretty good.
Yeah, I try. I want to rebut a few things that were said the last time at the last meeting by the mayor and his explanation. We all know the oil spill was on April 20th. By April 30th, the governor had declared an emergency. By April 30th as well, all of the mayors and everybody in this area of Baldwin County was attending meetings and coming up with ideas of how to proceed with this. On May 8th, each of the cities were to give their proposals to emergency management in Baldwin County. And May 8th was the deadline. May 8th also happened to be the date that Senator Pittman was designated to watch the funds and to advise the communities in his jurisdiction as to what was going on. The first set of documents that were proposed were under the name of Pittman Tractor and subcontract to oil recovery. Now that is the part that the mayor covered the last time. The part that he did not cover was when those papers, those documents, was one cover letter of the mayor's and 2 pages of Pittman Tractor proposals. When those were given to emergency management, that's who they went to first. When they were given to emergency management, they immediately saw a problem. They called their chief counsel, Scott Barnett, with the county, and he advised the county commissioner, the city administrator, Leanne Riles, emergency management, that a conflict of interest as well as an ethics violation may be involved with this type of a proposal. So what they did was they had they had 10 days with knowledge of this. They had 10 days that they were compelled to file an ethics charge. They went to, I believe Skip Gruber went to Senator Pittman and explained this to him and told him, said, you know, we cannot deny your proposal, but we will have to file a complaint, and we will do so. The senator withdrew that day on May 8th those documents. He came back the same day with a set of documents that said oil recovery. Did not say anything to do with Pittman Tractor or anything. They looked at it, they Googled to see if he had any interest in Pittman Tractor, and they said, okay, in oil recovery, and they said, okay, this will fly. Those are the documents that were approved. Now, everything I'm telling you has already been testified to by some of the people in the county as to what I'm saying. So at this time, the county felt like we missed a big problem here. We don't have to deal with this or ethics complaints or anything else. They thought it was oil recovery. On about the 10th or 12th, the mayor said he got a letter from emergency management that indicated everything was okay with the proposals that was sent in on the condition nothing had changed. Well, what had changed was nothing. They thought it was still under oil recovery. So they were advising the city they saw no problem. They did not know that Pittman Tractor received this contract until November, sometime in November, when Connie Baggett's article came out at that time. The second set of documents for oil recovery and the first set of documents, to the best of my knowledge and from what I've been able to find, does not exist in the city, and none of you saw it. That was the biggest confusion, was how did the council not know this? The reason you did not know this is because those documents didn't exist. If they exist today, it would be real helpful to find out who's got them and to explain how. On the 10th of May, they started laying boom in Fairhope. On the 24th of May, you had about 20,000 feet of boom out. By the 1st of June, another proposal was turned in by Pittman Tractor on the bid proposals that you were requesting for the June 4th meeting. Mr. Pittman submitted the same contract again as Pittman Tractor with oil recovery as the subcontractor. Now, first of all, you know as well as I do, you can't subcontract a contract if you don't have a contractor's license. That's the major problem right there. But that is what happened, and that second set of documents was not what was approved on the county level. They thought they were dealing with oil recovery. Now, as far as looking at the bid process, the first thing that jumps out at you is that you see oil recovery on the bid list, but they didn't bid for the first two items. Well, that's highly suspicious. They didn't bid for the first two items because they thought they were going to be the subcontractor. And indeed, they were the subcontractor. No one at any time told the council that oil recovery was the responsible party and the general contractor. So we rock along here and oil recovery starts doing the work. Everybody thinks everything's okay because oil recovery is doing the work. However, they didn't know oil recovery was to be the contractor, not the subcontractor, and Pittman Tractor was not to receive money in their name, but in the name of Pittman Tractor. So June 4th comes along, you have your special meeting, you look at the bids, you see everything that's there. Still, you are not aware of the original contracts on May 8th, or proposals on May 8th of Pittman Tractor and oil recovery. So now you have a low bid, if you will, by Pittman Tractor. You accept that contract. On June 10th, you get a invoice for $372,000 from Pittman Tractor. The first day's work he shows is June 4th, the same day you did the contract, for the tune of $19,500. That means the day you signed the contract, he went out and did $19,500 worth of work. I believe some of that boom work was done prior to that time. I know that the council did not know about what was going on with these documents. However, now that you do know that something is going on, I don't think it's up to the Ethics Commission or the Attorney General or federal people. I think you should handle it. You're the ones that were hoodwinked. You're the ones that, people were asking themselves. There were people that were convinced council must have taken money. All of the council's in on it. Well, we couldn't figure out what the hell was going on, to tell you the truth, until we put all the documents together. And what got us on this was, first of all, Mr. Odom's article in August, when we saw the relationship between Pittman and James, and then Ms. Baggett's article on the 20th of November, which outlined the whole thing. I don't know anything about a computer more than barely how to turn it on. And I went to that site and somebody said, all you got to do is click on documents and it's going to show it to you, and they popped up.
Well, haven't you submitted this to the Attorney General?
I submitted it, well, I've submitted it to quite a few people. It's in the hands of the attorney. It is, Mr. Mixon, and I have handed it to other authorities. But what I'm saying is the council was severely abused in this. I mean, severely abused in this. If this happened in the private sector, you'd lose your job. You couldn't pull something like this. And that is the point that I'm making, is that you can't do business like this. Now, I see on the agenda of a resolution to try to clear this up, which I sincerely applaud, because it has to be. I do not believe that you can deal with public officials that are, especially when they're over our own jurisdiction on contracts such as this. So that's my point, is that whether it's taken up by a higher authority or not, we'll just have to wait and see. But I think the council should give it serious consideration as to the situation that they were put in, and have some explanation given to you, and also ask, where are those documents that were written on May 8th? Both sets.
Okay. Any comments?
If it's in the ethics, you reported this to the ethics.
Yes, sir.
They said it was laughable, and used another adjective.
They said a portion of it was laughable, correct.
Well, and I must not have read it close enough. I just saw laughable. And they decided to close the case. So are you indicating that they too are crooked?
No. They've decided to close the case, but that doesn't mean that they haven't that this isn't going to be handled by the Attorney General or anyone else. They elected not to handle it. That's entirely up to them. But now the documents and the letters and everything that I have, Mr. Ford, are our documents, and they're county documents. They're not, I mean, these aren't anything that's been fabricated, and this has been, and this information I'm telling you now has been testified to by two authorities, by county officials. The same thing I am telling you.
What's the outcome?
I don't know. I think we're months away from it, if not anything else. I'm just glad to see the council take action on the with the resolution tonight on the public working with public officials. But I think the council needs to be extremely cautious, and I also think that I think you're in for another problem if you allow Bob James's contract for the hurricane to stand. Let's say we have a hurricane, God forbid. We have a cost overrun on debris cleanup, which is a very easy thing. I'll guarantee you're going to have more complaints. Why does a county commissioner have this contract and everything else?
That is being looked into.
I know, but I mean, that's the concern I'm talking about.
Okay.
I'm just saying that I think the council, not the ethics commission, DA, or anything else, this happened in Fairhope. And all I hear all the time is, you know, the one push button thing that gets people's attention is children and their education. If we do business like this, what are we teaching our children? I mean, seriously. And that's my point.
Good. Thank you, Mr. Ripp.
Thank you.